You Cyber here, and yesterday I had some questions about the whole flick shot and what that was. So I kind of want to go in here and show you a little bit what a flick shot is. I'll show you. You know, normally it's a lot with the hit scan people. The best one to practice it with is Widowmaker. So when you're in here, first thing with Widowmaker is I want everybody to understand is that once you zoom in, you see these triangles at the bottom, right beneath the crosshair, and how the power goes up. So when you shoot here, it drops to 0 and then it powers back up again. Okay, so let's not hit one of them. So 100% down to 0, back up to full charge. Now, if you can shoot boom, 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 but those are all doing 0 damage. All right. So you know you want to let your shots go as much as they possibly can. All right. So here's what I want to show you with a flick shot. So what is a flick shot? Essentially, the idea is you're not going to be using it with her automatic weapon. Okay, you're going to be using it when you're zoomed in. So anybody can take their time, pull the trigger, you know, and shoot them in the head. No big deal, right? But what happens if they're moving? You know, it's a lot harder to hit things when they're moving. So here's what you do. Essentially, what you want to track them when they're walking around. You want to track them, and then when you finally get comfortable with your shot, you want to go from wherever you're tracking them at, whether it's here, here, here. I personally like to stay to the upper right, and I'll come down. Okay, so you want to start here. You want to come to where their head's at, and then you want to go back to your starting position. So the idea is you develop a muscle memory, if you will, of getting to the point where you'll always click the same time that you get to their head, right? And it's easier said than done. So I recommend coming into this practice range here and working on the standard targets at various ranges. So right here, boom, and boom. Well, I missed it, but I hit the wall. So you come over here, and once you kind of get the hang of the people that aren't moving, you can work on these guys that are moving. Now this is a little more challenging, but the idea is still the same. You track them, and well, he wasn't moving, but so you can see there. I'm not really aiming. I have an idea of where they're going, and I'm too trigger happy now. The walls are in the way. So, but that's why you come in and practice, right? So position, track them, and then you flick towards their head. And even if, you know, a lot of the times, even if you just get a body shot, you know, if they've had any damage at all on 100% Widowmaker, you know, I'm pretty sure it does 66 points of damage. And her crit does like 250 or something like that. So, just being here, you know, able to get body shots on them is always good. So I like to come up to a higher place and, whoops, that was my fault. And practice from different distances too, because it'll help. You know, you'll have the feeling for it. And then if you really want to challenge, you can always hop on this and then shoot them while you're moving. But oops, that was just a jerk.
No,
a little bit
that
too
was
soon.
a robot.
So, and as you notice, I'm not nearly as exaggerating the flick shots as what I would be if I was at a closer distance. Mostly because they...
How does this girl kick it down? How does this girl kick it down? How does this girl kick it down?
So, this is a good place to come in and practice. So here's with one that's moving just left and right. Okay, so you could track them, and as long as they never change direction, you can pop them in the head. But let's say he's moving this way. You where you're at, you speed your cursor up and then smack him in the head. Now I want to go over another thing real quick. In the settings, a lot of people will they'll play very high sensitivity. They'll play at 15 or something. There's also tons of videos out there, and I can go over kind of like what I do with my crosshairs and whatnot. But just a quick little tip. I turn my sensitivity down to 6, and I have my DPI set at 800. So when I move, I have to, in order to do a full 360, I have to move about 12 inches on my mouse pad in order to spin around. That helps with this flick shooting. Well, I mean, if I'm just not terrible at it. So it's always satisfying to start, plucking people off with Widowmaker. It's always a good thing. So I'll show you. McCree is pretty much the same thing. I won't spend nearly as much time on him. And yes, I know that I could have just gone back to the thing and switched to him. With McCree, so for his, he doesn't have a zoom. Right, so his right click is, where he unloads his magazine. So I'm sure that you guys can hear it, but the idea of these critical hits.
This one's on the house.
That was just terrible. Okay, well, here, I guess I'm just doing awful. Where's a crit? Crit. Crit. Now, if you notice, I got that ultimate super fast. McCree, his ult, charges ridiculously fast. So, spot to head, okay? I don't exaggerate with McCree as much as I do with Widowmaker. He was kind of right up in my business, wasn't he? Because there's no charge time with McCree. So the flick shot it's essentially, you're not cheating the system, you're not aimbotting, you're really just building muscle memory. So
Someone call the Undertaker.
when you get to the point, I'd say, I don't want to say there's like ever a time where you've mastered it. If you just come in and practice every once in a while, you'll be fine. And let's see, let's see what else we got. Let's see if we can do another hit scan player. I don't really know of anybody else that's a amazing hit scan. Hanzo is not a hit scan You know, even though people are like, well, he's a sniper. True, but his arrows, they take time. You know, they're not immediate like with McCree and Widowmaker. So you can, in essence, just lead.
Never second best.
There's not really a whole lot of flick shooting that needs to be done. Because of how his arrows travel.
Yeah, said it was Daddy.
Art of deception.
There's someone Daddy here.
So, I mean, it is what it is. Oh, he dodged that, didn't he?
Weakling.
Big.
But I mean, Hanzo really got a big buff.
Oh, come here.
Is that your plan?
Yeah. I mean, the headshots are great, don't get me wrong.
Simple geometry.
Missed him. There it is. Bink. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad right now. So, I mean, that's kind of the general idea.
I can't. My name is Cat. I am a kid with just 2 hands and open this app.
You know, so all. Woo!
Triple kill. They fall before me, one after another. There is nowhere to hide.
So that's it. I'll go ahead. I just wanted to show everybody, you know, kind of what is going on with the whole flick shooting, and you know, just run through that and kind of say what it is, how it's done, and how you see so many people doing it. I will say one of the downsides to practicing this flick shot is that when you play somebody like Farah, or when you play somebody like Soldier, or you play somebody that's not really a hit scan, you tend to always be off, because accounting for that that travel time is something that the flick shot doesn't really help with. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind, and you know, you guys, it'll be fine. So, all right, thanks guys for watching. That's how you do a flick shot. I hope it helped. I hope it explained something. You know, I'm obviously not the best at it, but you know, at least it's something. So, thanks for watching. Do Cyber. Hit that like button if you want to see some more, and hit subscribe if you want me to keep making these videos. All right, out here.